Hi guys, and welcome to yet another review. This time I am going to be reviewing Supernatural Series 11, Episode 11, Into the Mystic. So after last week's just perfection episode of Supernatural, we now have a return to the character of the week, well, the monster of the week type setup, which it's not bad. It's not bad. It was done very well for a Monster of the Week episode, but that's just kind of throwing that out there. Anyway, so the plot of this episode, minor spoilers, you have been warned. So we have the introduction of the Banshee, again, the more malevolent Banshee. It's not the Banshee that warns of people's approaching deaths, it's one that makes the people that they appear to go mad and bash their brains against a wall, and then the Banshee comes and eats the good brainy goopy stuff. So straight off the bat, that was really interesting, because I think Supernatural has had 11 seasons, and it is interesting how they have never fought against a Banshee before. It's just fantastic how the writers are able to come up with new lore all the time and explore creatures that they haven't been able to in the past, which is very good. I liked the fact that they used the Banshee. So you've got the Banshee causing all of the trouble at an old people's home, which I did like how that little thread kind of led into Sam and Dean's own perception of what they want to do when they get old. Like, Sam says, oh, we're probably not going to live that long, but Dean seems genuinely like somewhere he'd want to retire, which I thought was cute, and his whole little interaction with Mildred was just perfect. It was lovely. Because they could have really screwed up the character of Mildred, but they made her really funny and alert and naughty and all those kind of things, and her interaction with Dean was really cute. So it kind of, even from there, if she had been like other characters like Becky, who was pretty much the personification of the fan base, if they had made Mildred a character like that, then you wouldn't have really cared whether she lived or died. I could not stand Becky. Oh, so glad she's gone. Again, this goes back to, we haven't seen her since about season 7, and I thank my lucky stars for that, because I couldn't stand her, and season 7 Time for a Wedding was the absolute ugh. Could not stand the character. But they did a really good job with Mildred. They did a really good job with the character of Eileen, because you have to be very delicate when dealing with characters that have disabilities, and Eileen was left deaf after her parents were killed by a Banshee, and she could hear the scream and her ears started bleeding. But yet again, they could have made Eileen a stereotype, but they didn't. They gave her a really interesting character. She was funny, she was quick, she was very mind on the task, she was goal oriented. That's what I meant to say. And I thought her interaction with Sam was really, really cute. I would like to see Eileen come back at some point, just to be a friend to Sam, because they were just so cute together. Yeah, so they were the sort of characters and plot devices So this episode on the whole was really good. In my mind it wasn't anywhere near as good as last week's, but then again, that was, in my mind, that was nearly a perfect episode of Supernatural. This was a really, really good Monster of the Week episode, because some of them can just be really dull, like, oh, was it season 10 where they had that episode and it was kind of based on Cluedo, and I was just like, nah. There have been some really crappy Monster of the Week episodes, but this was not one of them. This was one of the best Monster of the Week episodes. One of the strongest episodes on the whole? I don't know. My issue is, although it did link to the overall plotline of the series, which some of the Monster of the Week episodes do not do, they just kind of are standalone in their own right and they don't link to anything outside of it. This episode did, but to me it still felt like it didn't quite belong in the natural progression. You've got the like 2-minute interaction between Dean and, I'm just going to start calling him Cassifer because it's just easier. Cassifer. Their interaction rooted it more in the plot of the darkness, but you could have kind of got rid of those bits and it would have been a standalone episode, which I'm not a major fan of, to be fair. But that's just my own opinion on it. Even I did find it this really annoyed me. Now this is major spoilers, so if you don't want to hear the spoiler, you might want to mute the video for about a minute or so, or it's been nice seeing you, come back a bit later. Alright, anyway, so the fact that Dean is lying to Sam again, oh, that was one of the main things I really liked about the last episode. They were being honest with each other, they were being open, and it's the entire series, they've been really honest with each other, which has made such a nice change to like season 9 or, I don't know, season 4. And Dean is yet again lying about his feelings towards the darkness, why the Banshee targets him because he's vulnerable, because he has this weird sexual connection to Amara. And Sam had just been really honest, saying, okay, the reason I can't sleep at night is because I feel guilty, because Lucifer, as Lucifer showed me, I do regret the fact that I didn't go looking for you. I should have done everything I could. And Dean says, oh, pretty much he says the equivalent of, I don't care, shut up and drink your beer, which is I love you in Winchester. And then Sam asks, oh, why would the Banshee think that you're vulnerable? And Dean lies to him, and I'm just sitting there just, oh, Dean, stop. Stop, just tell your brother, for God's sake. Stop. We don't need any more conflict going on. We've got blooming Cassifer just blazing up the joint, trying to find a spell to draw out Amara and hopefully use Dean as some form of bait. You've got Amara just going out there causing havoc. You've got Crowley just having a, God knows where Crowley is. Nah, don't get no resolution about Crowley. He's just, I don't even know. Probably somewhere in hell. You don't know. But there are just so many points of conflict within this season, and we don't need a conflict between Sam and Dean again. It gets a bit boring after a time. The whole staple of the show is the brotherly bond, and they keep trying to add too many conflicts in between Sam and Dean, which is why I didn't particularly like season 9, because they were at each other's throats until episode 23. Or was it episode 23? The last episode of that season, the season finale. They were at each other's throats pretty much the entire way through, which I understand. But why couldn't have they been honest with each other? We could have saved ourselves quite a big arc there. But nope, rather have a conflict. Anyway, moving away from the spoilers and the fact that I'm so irritated that Dean has lied to Sam again. This was it was a nice episode. You know, you get some episodes that are really depressing. It's the only way I can put them, depressing. But this was a nice kind of, I think it was a bit of a come down. Like, you know, there was so much tension, so much hype up from last week that it's kind of, you know, a nice little peaceful week so you can get your bearings together, even though next week looks like it's going to be another Monster of the Week thing with Jodie and Claire, who I cannot stand the character of Claire. I could not stand her. And the way I see it is you can't have her in it without Cass. You can't have the two, you can't have one without the other. And the fact that they're trying to give so much emphasis to Claire, it's like, I like Jodie. I like her as a character. She's cool. But Claire, I don't know how I feel about next week. But, I don't like the fact that they're going to have such an amazing episode and then they're going to have 2 episodes in quick succession that are a bit, I don't want to say I feel like they're going to be ploddy. I mean, this one wasn't, you know, it was interesting, bit of character insights, but I don't know. I don't particularly know how I feel. But yeah, so in summary, the plot and the monster were interesting. Like, it is a real breath of fresh air to see the Winchesters fighting something that they have never fought before. Because, you know, at this point, they fought, I mean, back in the day, they were fighting, like, scarecrows, wendigos, ghosts, shadow demons, and then demons, angels, the devil, just archangels in general, Abaddon, the Knights of Hell. And it was nice to see something where the brothers were just a bit like, oh, right, I thought it was a ghost, it isn't, oh, okay, right. Need to find some new way to get around it and work with Eileen. So that was cool. I liked. My main issue lies in the fact that it didn't feel much like a continuation from last week. It kind of felt like its own little separate thing that could have been in, well, it could have been in quite a few of the other series if you'd have tweaked some little aspects. So, but then again, that's not necessarily a negative. Yeah, the acting was superb as usual. The characters of Mildred and Eileen were just, I loved them. Bring them back by all means, but please do not kill them like you did with Charlie, because the feels are real, okay? The feels are real. Why did you kill Charlie and Kevin? You bastards. But, you know, just feel free to bring them back anytime because they were awesome. The camera work was great, except, right, this is another point of contention that I probably should have mentioned. Oh, was that a crappy looking banshee? Oh, it was ugly. It was CGI. Oh, it was some ugly CGI. And I was just sitting there just thinking, could you not have done this with an actual actor? Not someone that's just finished at animation school and just gone, oh yes, I'm qualified. Could you not have done it with an actual actor and then added aspects of CGI, not just this weird floating ball of ugly? Like that was, oh, the banshee was so poorly rendered. Even some of the moments where the banshee moved and like went through windows, oh, that was poorly rendered. I was just sitting there just, oh, no. So that was kind of my issue. But then again, Supernatural doesn't have like a massive budget like other shows like Game of Thrones or, well, Doctor Who doesn't get that big a budget, but they mainly use practical effects. Like there are other shows that get a much bigger budget than Supernatural, so it's only natural that, you know, you're going to get some points where the CGI they try to use or the special effects they use are a bit lackluster. But apart from that, the camera work was really cool. The CGI banshee will give me nightmares for weeks to come. Not because it was scary, because it was so ugly. But yeah, that was my overall view. I did like it. It is one of the better Monster of the Week episodes, but it just felt like such a come down from last week. If they'd put it anywhere else in the season,